Hello, everybody. Marie here, and Joe.
And Joe.
And here comes my lovely. Hello, handsome.
Hello, gorgeous.
And today we're going to cook with you because we haven't gotten to do that in a while. There's been a few things going on lately, and
Oh, you put it over there.
wait. It's not.
Oh, what?
You're not supposed to have labels.
This is good. See, I wanted some.
I know.
There we go. Now I have a little bit of beer.
Just a little bit. So there we go.
I got in trouble already. I haven't done anything yet.
You're supposed to be the comic relief.
I am.
Not the anxiety part.
Part of comic is anxiety.
There we go.
Yeah.
Just to make everybody just a little bit nervous. So today we're going to do taco stuffed bell peppers. And we had that earlier this week, and so we thought we would share it with you because one, it's really simple. Two,
It's really good.
it is really, really good. And you can use a lot of the leftovers you have during the week. We happened to have some leftover beans and some leftover rice, and so that was awesome. I see people coming on. I can't see who it is, but we'll say
hello.
Hi, wave to you. Thanks for being here. And
Hit
then
the heart button. We can see the heart button.
we can see the hearts. So yeah, send us some love. And then when we're done with the recipe, what we'll actually do is give you a couple of tips of ways that you can kind of connect and maybe stay out of each other's hair during this thing, and or at least ease that a little bit. So let me tell you a little bit about.
I'm in her hair.
He's always in my hair. So the first thing you're going to do is take a pound of ground beef. You can also put in sausage. Last week we had some leftover sausage, so we put in some sausage, and then you brown that up and put in your salt and pepper, and then you'll get to put in some of these other spices. So we put in
Chili powder.
1 tablespoon of chili powder. Sometimes I put in a little bit more. If you're a chef like I am, sometimes you add a few little spices when you want it to be a little spicier. 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. We usually put in 2 because we love garlic powder. And then you're going to put in 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. And that's the bomb, diggity. Brown that all up. And
I like it. What you do, daddy.
There goes the comic part. And we've already pre-browned some ground beef. And then we'll go ahead and add in the other ingredients. So we've already put in our spices of chili powder, garlic powder, cumin, and then sometimes you might want Cholula, and we already browned the onions. So after you brown the meat, that's a good time to add the onions and just brown it a little bit longer until they look clear. Send us some hearts. We can see you. We just can't see who it is. And then we add some things like the black beans. You can just take a half a can. Sometimes recipes call for a whole can. For me personally, I don't like that many beans. But, oh, there's some hearts.
Oh, hey, thanks for the heart.
I will have my sous chef put those in with the ground beef.
Okay, all right, here we go.
He doesn't know what to do. We, last week, used some brown rice. We've used wild rice, and that's good. We happen to have white rice this week. So we'll put in about a cup of that. Here you go. And then it asks for a whole jar of salsa, which is about the size of a paste jar, and that seems like a lot. Sometimes that'll make it a little tomatoey, and if you don't mind tomato, that's good. But if you want it kind of Mexican, like spicy flavor, I use a little bit less. So we put in a cup of this, and then we do that to taste too. So I'm one of those chefs that do that. Yep.
All right.
And then lastly, but not leastly, once that is all browned up and really warmed through, we add some cheese. And we'll add in a cup and a half of cheese into the middle, and then we'll start stuffing the peppers. And then we leave aside about a half a cup for when it comes out of the oven, and we'll add more cheese then.
You know, if I wasn't on camera, I'd be eating some of that.
I know. Thank goodness you guys are there, because it would be half gone by now. What I forgot to say at the very beginning, before we do all the other part, is you do cook the bell peppers. We already had them pre-cooked. At 350 for 20 minutes, you just kind of spray the pan with some kind of cooking spray so it doesn't stick. so that it gets nice and pliable and they're just a little easier to pack that way. So now that our meat is already ready, because we kind of pre-did that, we'll stuff this pepper and then we'll throw it in. Yeah, that'd be great. And then we'll put those back in the oven for another 20 minutes or so. I'll let the sous chef bring that over.
There we go.
I don't know if they can see it, but it's probably why they put a whole bottle of the paste in there or a whole bottle of salsa, because then it has more color. But this is a good way to get your veggies too, because what we did last week is we chopped up a whole bunch more other peppers, the yellows, the greens, the reds.
Red.
Then, yeah, those are pretty nice. And then you just stuff the pepper as full as you want it.
And then the cheese. Don't forget
No, the cheese doesn't go on till it's done, and then you add it
right,
later.
Okay.
And then so you stuff the pepper, and then you put it in for 20 more minutes. I would put it in for 15 and then add the last bit of cheese for another 5 so that it's bubbly and yummy and wonderful. And then we might eat this on the side because I didn't buy a lot of peppers this time.
Yeah.
We'll go throw that in the oven for another 20 minutes. Again, it's at 350 for 20 more minutes. That's a pretty quick recipe, especially if you get a chance to do some things ahead of time. What I like to do is on Sundays, I'll pre-prepare some things. So if I know I'm going to use rice a couple of times in the week, I might do a whole bunch of rice, use some for one meal and some for another. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to move this aside so we can just chat a little bit.
Okay.
So you've probably been, some of us are working in some essential jobs, but some of us that are stuck at home together, you know, it might be putting a little strain on your relationship. So we thought we'd give you a couple of tips.
Really?
We get along generally pretty well together, but one of the things that we do that I think makes that work well is we carve out time just for ourselves. We both need alone time
Yes.
as well as together time. So it's really important. I mean, like, because I just couldn't go, 24/7. I love this guy quite a bit, but there's
You can't
no,
do it 24/7?
no 24/7. And I know he can't do that with me, although I am a saint, and I know.
This is true. We took these, what were they called? Like
Some little personality
Facebook
test.
personality thing. And I turned out to be a saint, which I knew.
Well,
Right? So there I am, a saint. And so then later she took the thing and she turned out to be a saint.
so there you go.
We're both
There's
saints.
something that we say that make us saintly.
It certainly ain't
Other
us.
people might question that. But what's really cool is one of the things that we do first thing in the morning is all say, what does your schedule look like? Which meetings are really important for you to kind of have your space? Because, you know, we both have people that rely on our confidentiality. So there might be times that we need to have one of us downstairs, one of us upstairs. And there may be time that we just need the space.
Right. Just need to concentrate and work by yourself. Yeah.
Yep. As far as so this guy, I love his laugh. His laugh is just awesome
Except
and
when it
amazing. Except when I'm
permutates.
in the middle of recording something and there's, but it could be worse. Like it could be somebody yelling in the background, but it's like, "Bah!" Which is awesome. What's really odd is like he's clear on one end downstairs and I'm clear on the other end upstairs, and we can still hear each other. Just everything echoes. So we said alone time, but we also need together time that's out and away from the house, especially since our work is always at home. So we'll go for walks.
I like to walk.
Last week we went to one of our little local restaurants, got a to-go thing to support the local restaurant, but then we went to this little, it wasn't really
It's
a
like a
park, it was
neighborhood
like
park.
a little neighborhood thing. So it was out in the open where we didn't, you know,
You were social.
we
distance.
still kept our physical
Yeah.
distance from people. We could say hi, and that was awesome. We had an outdoor like cookout on the deck. We've had so that you can just get creative with that. Just find some time that's not in your normal spaces so that it feels different, and we need variety. That's a sixth human need. We need some variety. So alone time as well as some together time. Just keep this connection going that's not work related, because that's one of the things we forget to do is play. Make time for play.
Play.
Hey, I
Well,
like
the
you.
other tip that helps me is when it's time to be done working. So at 6 o'clock or so, I shut down. Then I come in and I sit in the kitchen and don't watch the TV, and I just try to make that transition. The same as like your commute home, you're transitioning. So I listen to the sports radio and do kind of the similar stuff I did in the truck, but then it gets me away from work.
So sometimes that's the piece that we forget. I know the first week or two when this was all happening, I was doing so many Zoom meetings back to back to back, and I go, why am I so tired? And part of it is when I had meetings before, I would have some transition time between this meeting and the next meeting, and then I would be able to have that downtime. So make sure you cushion in some time in between meetings. And then the second tip was split household chores. You're both in the house together. You're both mucking it up. There are times that it feels a little bit overwhelming, but you can make that a game too. Make it to where you're being playful with each other. Pretend like you're gonna shower them with the hose. I don't know. Just find ways to make it playful and not so much like we gotta do chores together. And even if it's you split it up because you both need that alone time. Yesterday we had gotten a little bit tired of some things, so he was working on one chore that was away and I was working on a separate one. Or it could be together, because we like that too. We like both.
Well, I think the part-time is important to make sure that you get your work done.
Well, yes, sometimes we could mess around a little bit on that. So that's our thing. We have a bell pepper to show you. You want to grab one of those?
Yeah.
This is the other cool part about the bell peppers is I saw there was a lasagna version of a bell pepper.
Ooh.
And you actually, we'll have to try that later, but you actually layer the noodles inside of the pepper so it kind of holds that consistency, so it should be pretty awesome. Want to try it?
I do.
Want me to feed you?
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be stringy.
Wait.
Sorry.
Oh, gosh.
It's stringy. That's okay.
There you go.
Pretty
too
good.
bad. There we are.
Yeah. Oh,
There we go. Just like on TV, it's always delicious.
it's always delicious, no matter what. You don't sweat. The last thing we want to do is let you know we have a Facebook group called Relationships Unleashed, where we give tips and tricks about relationships, but all kinds of relationships. We have tips on how to do kids. I do lots of interviews of people around the world
Like
where
Liz.
you get to see all the really cool, amazing people that we know. Sometimes there'll be physical fitness things. Sometimes there's some meditation things. Sometimes there's self-care things. So there's all kinds of resources in that group. So again, it's facebookgroups.com/relationships unleashed. And come join us and come see what we got going on there. And it's always a place that you can get uplifted and cheered up, and you can share what's going on with you too. We're grateful for you. We're so glad that you came to visit us today. Until the next time we meet, may you find the gold in you, because you are so beautiful. May you find the gold in others, because they're pretty awesome too. And may you find the gold in every day, because even though there's a lot of unrest and discord, there's some really amazing things that are going on around the world that are beautiful and lovely, and we want to share that with you. God bless you.